And we are live.
7:22.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to the pre-show, the conversation room, by way of Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio. Just in from,
Don't do it. Don't do it. Because your butt was like 6 minutes late. Act like you know.
All right, Mr. Ford is in on the show tonight once again for the pre-show. And tonight we're gonna talk about something familiar to Mr. Ford. We're gonna talk about fitness, but we're gonna talk about a different perspective of fitness. Tonight we are talking about, Mr. Ford, and I'm going to lean on you because you're going to get exactly where I'm coming from. Okay. So I'm talking about how the question of the hour is: are you fit for love? And basically, what is your workout plan for such? Are you fit for love? And so the perspective I'm coming from with this is, I think about a lot of the questions I get, a lot of different issues I may be privy to, or you may have heard this one talk about this. And so when you listen to some of the commonalities and if you pay attention to some of the behavioral traits, it will put you in the mind of someone being out of shape for a relationship.
Yeah. Okay.
And basically, if you think about it, if you go into the gym with a desire and you're like, that's right, I'm coming in here because, let's equate that to the person that's coming in there saying, I'm ready for a man, a woman, I need this relationship. So you walk into the gym of love, right? And you're looking around at all the bars and all the stuff and all the equipment, and you saying, good, I took the step of wanting it, so I'm here now. So look at all these things I can choose to work out on. Now, you and I both know you can go over there if you want to and start trying to either lift certain things or trying to test your endurance on certain ellipticals or what have you. And before you know it, you're going to quit and be exhausted, sweating, and saying, man, I'm done, because you're not built stamina wise for the regimen. Okay. So I'll let you kind of come from your angle on this.
Well, I mean, okay, so from that particular perspective, what you need to do first, and what is always recommended by trainers and those who work out physically, is you need to take a physical test. You need to get a physical first before you actually start to work out, because you might have some underlying medical issue that may actually prohibit you from working out. For example, you might have a heart condition, or you might have some arthritis in your body, or some sprain that you did not know about. And so in order for you to be able to work out effectively and receive the benefit of the workout, it's recommended that first of all, you consult your physician and you get a physical first. You get a physical test to determine, whether or not if you're healthy enough to actually work out. Now, the other aspect of it is that once you do begin to work out, you need to figure out what you are able and what you aren't able to do. Just because you see everybody going to the weights and lifting weights doesn't mean that you're able to do the same thing. So based on your physical limitations will determine what you're able to work out on physically and get the most benefit out of. That's why a lot of times when people go to the gym or they begin to work out, they just kind of do whatever they see, but not really knowing what they're able to do. The other thing is, this last thing, and I'll finish with this, is what is your goal in terms of working out? Are you just there to lose weight? Are you there to tone up? Are you there to put on muscle? There are various different things that you can achieve by working out. What you need to do is you need to be able to determine, what is my goal in terms of my working out? What do I want to do in terms of getting fit?
So pretty much, if I'm to hear that back, so basically, have a goal. Well, first of all, it sounds like you're saying make sure you are fit even before you're able to go and exercise.
Yes.
Before you begin your regimen.
Yes.
Sort of do a self-check, if you will.
Yeah.
Now the thing is this: most of us don't do that. We don't step back and say, "Yeah, I did just break up 2 months ago, or I did have a horrible marriage that I just signed the ink on the divorce, a month ago. But I am lonely, and all I know is that I'm able to catch somebody. So somebody out here can pick me up and help me walk over this plank here, even though in reality I'm not able to walk in the gym and exercise on my own. I need a spotter.
Okay, yeah.
That's always a sign.
You need a trainer. You need somebody who can help you train when you go to the gym. Somebody who can somebody who's already in shape, already fit, and knows exactly what it is that you're trying to do. They need to be trained. The trainer needs to be trained and skilled enough that they know exactly the workout routines that you need to do in order to achieve your goal. And so with this in mind, they gear you toward or point you towards certain workout routines, because certain workout routines yield certain results.
Okay.
It is, for example, if I wanted to run, if I wanted to be a good runner, then that means, I need to do something in terms of getting on the treadmill. That doesn't mean I go lift weights. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that I can't lift weights, but if my goal is to become a good runner, that means I need to work on my cardiovascular system, which allows me to breathe, which allows me to run longer and longer distances. It also has to do with my ability to be able to build up my stamina so that I can withstand running long distances. So again, you need to have a training program that's actually geared toward a specific goal so that you can get stronger in that particular area.
And here's a key. We all know people that can look at someone else. Like, let's just say here's a single person and you're looking over there saying, I'm interested in that person. They look like they're fit. Like, you can look at them from the outside. The person looks like they work out. So you're saying this person, so we're looking in the psychological realm, this person seems like they have it together. Maybe I'll have a good shot at dealing with someone like this. We all know people that are physically in shape. And as you know it, they get approached by people all the time asking them about working out and what you do and all this. And what happens in most cases, they'll tell you at the moment, they'll say, well, you got to eat right. You got to get the necessary rest and diet and all that kind of stuff. But very few of them are going to say, just off the break, meet me here tomorrow. I'll start working out with you for 6 whole months.
That's true.
Meaning they're not going to take their maturity and always just risk it on the novice coming into the situation at some time.
Here's the thing about that. And I've actually had people come to me and ask me questions about working out. And my thing is, okay, I know what works for me because I've done research on it. And I know what works for me in terms of physical training. But I don't know what works for you because you are different from me. So that means your needs are different from my needs, which means you need something that's actually customized and contoured to your specific need set. That's the reality. So everything that everybody does in the gym doesn't work for everybody. Everybody needs a program that's customized just specifically for them. That even goes down to your diet, to your lifestyle. Because again, trying to make it a cookie cutter type situation doesn't work. There are some generalities, but if you want the full benefit and the full effect of what you're trying to do, you got to get down to the details. You got to get down to the specifics of what you're actually trying to do.
You know what? You're right. Because nowadays, there was once upon a time when you would go into the gym of love, so to speak, and you just would see one person who had the keys sitting at the desk. And they were like, good day, how you doing? And they let you be. You just went in there, no kind of, this is what you do, or no kind of, this is what probably the best regimen for you. Just have that, whatever you think you know how to do, here's the equipment, go do it. Nowadays, like you said, we are fortunate enough to have people who can sit down and work on a regimen program.
Right.
You establishing how healthy you are beforehand.
Yeah.
Therapist, so to speak. How healthy are you before you jump out here? Because a lot of times what I've learned is if you sit people down and talk to them long enough, you'll learn you're probably not ready for this. You desire it, but you're probably not ready just based off what I'm just hearing basically off the break. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, and even okay, so I'll go with you on this. I'll go with you like this. Now, when I first started working out, I've never really had a trainer. And I really don't like going to gyms.
Okay.
I like being able to work on my own time and my own pace. And most of the time I'm working out in my basement. Now, having said that, that means the onus of really understanding what it means to work out is on me, which means I need to do research. I need to read materials that will educate me as to how I should work out. Read materials as to how to achieve the goal that I'm trying to achieve. I need to research as much as I possibly can. So relating that to relationships, that means I need to take out the time for me to read books, have conversations with people that are in successful relationships. Okay. Seek professional counseling, especially if you have some emotional issues that you need to work out, some psychological issues that you need to work out. Seek some help. Seek some supplements that will help you get better at being who you are, so that when the relationship comes into your life, you are ready and you are prepared for it.
And you know what? So let's discuss some signs to try to help some people.
Okay.
That can give people probably a good inclination of not being fit for the cause.
All right.
So I'll go first. If you find yourself being, I would say, a sign of early fatigue with someone who's very dismissive, who is ready to just quit on a dime. That is the equivalent of someone saying, "Here, come here, Adam, take this 20-pound dumbbell and do it 10 times. Man, forget it. I can't lift this.
Right.
I'm done." So basically, you're going to have to work on your endurance, some strength training, and some stamina to be able to start doing these repetitions. But it takes someone humble enough to recognize that and begin to put the work in. And this is where the problem comes in.
Yeah, and that really is a problem in terms of really receiving the benefits or the results of working out. You can't give up. Just because it's hard, just because it's difficult, doesn't mean that you should give out. You should stick it out, be committed to the process until you find a solution that works for you. So that means, if the weight is heavy, then I go to a lighter weight until I build up my strength in my arms enough to be able to carry a heavier weight. Just because the weight is heavy doesn't mean I shouldn't carry it. What it means is I need to work on my biceps and my triceps so that I can actually lift that weight and carry that weight, and it does what it's supposed to do in terms of building up muscle.
Right. Wow. I mean, the bottom line is this: having relational stamina is just what it is.
Yeah.
Being able. Now, here's the kicker, though. We're not talking about having stamina for something that's just destined to be dysfunctional. That's just a waste of time. Right. We're talking about if you're in a situation that you feel as though you have some light at the end of the tunnel, there is some hope on the other side. The key is can you endure? Can you last? Can your endurance kick in to finish? Finish this thing. Can you? Because this process, so to speak, it's a race. It's not necessarily a swift one in some cases, but it's about getting from starting at one place and lasting to get to the other side. Well, and that all has to do with you being healthy and fit.
Yeah, and I'll just continue to use the example of working out. I like to run. I haven't always liked to run. It's when I've gotten older that I've really begun to understand what running does for you. But in order for me to be able to run, say for like 3 miles for 22 minutes, I gotta continue to commit to that run. I got to put one leg in front of the other and begin to run. The key to long distance running is not about your strength. It's about your breath, being able to breathe as you run, because if you don't take a breath, that means your muscles don't receive the oxygen from the blood that you need to receive in order to continue to run. So if I continue to breathe and breathe at a runner's pace, then I can last the distance. I can run because it's building up my cardiovascular system, which again in turn is oxygenating my blood, which in turn is building up my muscles so that I don't pass out while I'm running. You know what I'm saying? And running it's not about, again, it's not about how strong you are, but it's about the ability of your system to be able to maintain stamina enough to finish the run. That's what it's really about. So if we were to equate that to a relationship, you cannot, at the first sign of trouble, give up on your relationship. At the first sign of trouble, you got to buckle down and you got to really figure out, okay, what's the problem here? Let's talk about the situation. Let's find out what the issue is, and let's come up with some viable solutions as to how to solve this particular problem. The first person that quits at the first sign of trouble, they're not really into the relationship. They're not really committed. A committed person is committed. They're going to stay there as long as they possibly can to stay there to figure out what's wrong and to figure out what to do to make it right. If you're quitting and running at the first time of trouble, why are you even in a relationship?
Wow. And the deceiving thing about this, and there are a lot of people who start out talking right. Oh, I got the right intentions. Oh yeah, this is what I want. And if you're not careful enough to really listen to the heart of someone, you'll hear something that may resemble a workout partner. I think we all remember how you would have somebody like, we're gonna go to the gym. Oh, that's what's up. Let's do this. Let's get in shape and make this work together. You get excited because you feel like I have an accountability person to walk this out with me. Right. But you find out quickly as time goes down the line, not everybody starts out with the same agenda and same type of intentions. Someone may be having one reason you want to finish the race, and somebody else is like, yeah, I don't even want to do this with Adam. As if I don't get these biceps like I want them in the first 3 months, I don't know if I'm going to hang in there and do this. And you're thinking biceps, I'm thinking total mind, body healing, restoration, period.
Right.
That's finished. And the other person is like, well, I can if you make me feel comfortable with this regimen. If not, I don't know. And so what you'll find out is people will start out, and when they begin to assess the end result in their mind, like what may happen and what may not happen, people will begin to retract their promises and quit. You know?
You know what? It's interesting. I'm just going to kind of piggyback on something that you said, and I've seen it. If you look on YouTube, you can find a couple of videos on people who just work on one part of their body, or say, for example, they just work on their arms, or they work on their chest, and or they're just working on the abs, right? While they ignore the rest of their body. Yeah. And so you got really good arms, but your legs look like daggone chicken legs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Your upper body's all built up and all built out. Yeah. But your legs, what's going on? This is the reason why you have to. It's not about your strengths as much as it is about your weak areas. Pinpointing your weak areas and building them up. For example, if you're a person, so you might be a patient person, but you might not be a person that knows how to communicate. So now you put your patience to the side for the most part, and you begin to learn how to talk to somebody, how to effectively communicate with somebody so that they can understand what your thoughts in your mind are. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just enough to work on one aspect of who you are, but try to work on all of who you are as a person, as a whole person. I'm not just falling in love with your arms, right, or with your legs, or with your chest, but I'm falling in love with who you are, the total you as a total package person.
Yeah. Man, it's rough, but it's just like, it's just, I guess we have to say to ourselves today, people that may find themselves in these situations where you are looking to assess whether or not you are fit. You got to first be real with yourself. Right. And you know, most people that aren't fit, they're the people who have the conversations most about quitting before even exercising. They have conversations. I mean, you can listen to them if it's, you know, maybe if I'm in the barbershop, you can hear a guy talking and he'd be like, yeah, man, you know, I'm looking for that special someone, but I'm trying to tell you, I don't have time. I don't have time for that at all. And you ain't even met the special someone, but you're already up front saying, because I'm nearly fatigued and flatlined already. So I don't have very little strength to carry or deal with anything. That is a person that needs to work out first. You don't need to go into the gym of love. You need to work out and ask yourself, am I in a position to really go out here and develop a regimen, stick to it, begin to keep on, even if I don't see the ready results. That's half the reason people quit. They get into the gym because they've seen someone else's body relationship develop quickly and they like what they like. But when they get in there and get to doing what they're doing, their body is not their relationship is not reacting the same.
They're not seeing it as fast as they would like to see it.
Not be right, because Adam told me him and his person was looking cut up in 6 months, and this isn't right for us. We still over here. We looking the same as we started. So I don't know if this is going to work out. So you got to have the patience, you know.
Well, here's the thing, though, too. You're looking at everybody else's relationship, but you don't realize how much time and effort and energy that they had to invest in their relationship in order for it to look the way that it looked. You have no idea what the guy who has the 6-packs abs, you have no idea what he eats on a daily basis. But you think you can eat it in 2 weeks and get the 6-packs abs. That's not how this works. You have to put in the time. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in the energy in order for it to be what you expect it to be. If you expect it to be something in a short period of time, I'm telling you, and I hate to rain on your parade, but that's not how life works. You have to put in the time. And I think we live in such a time, in such an era where we're not willing to wait. We have no patience. We want it instantaneously, instantaneous gratification. We want it right now. And if we can't get it right now, we don't want it.
Wow.
But I'm sorry to say that's not how life works.
Not at all.
Things worthwhile take time.
Like a good meal. You ever notice how somebody preparing a Sunday meal? There are those certain things that you be like, well, Mom, why are you putting this on before we go to church? A meal ain't until 4 o'clock. And she up at 7 o'clock putting something already together in the oven. And you're like, well, dang, but it takes time to get right.
She knows how much time it's going to take to cook it, to make it right. Now, you can cook something real fast and real quick and real easy, throw it in the microwave. But I promise you, that meal that you just threw in the microwave can't hold a candle to a meal that was cooked in the oven.
Wow.
You're getting the same result. But the flavor is altogether different. Totally different. And again, just to use the gym analogy, you know, we go to the gym, like you said, and we're lifting the weights and we're doing this and we're doing that. And then 2 weeks later, we quit because we don't see the results that we want to see. Again, you got to put the time in. You have to be committed to this process. You have to be the one to put the energy in it and invest yourself into it. And here's the other thing. The other thing is, as much as you are investing in the relationship, you need to also invest in yourself. This is where we started out at with the physical test, with the physical, to be able to understand that you at this particular point in time may not necessarily have the lung capacity to be able to run a marathon, but that doesn't mean that you can't develop the lung capacity to run a marathon.
That's it.
That's the reality. So today your stamina might be low, but give it about a month. In 3 weeks' time, you'll be able to run as far as you want to run. Why? Because you put the time in.
That's it. I mean, that's really the bottom line. I mean, if we summon this up, I think people have to take the time. If we want to try to avoid some of these pitfalls that are happening, especially right now, like coronavirus is exposing everybody's weakness. Exposing just how out of shape a lot of relationships are. You have people that are doing things out of character that they wasn't doing before. You know, now the relationship is much more insecure, where before the breakdown, people were living their lives, doing their things. Now that life has come to a halt, Now it's just that. So are you sure? Oh, just wanted to check. Oh, I know I called this time. I'm just calling again. You like, oh, it's a pandemic. Like, what's going on? Everybody's flatline. What's going on? But people are on heightened alert because right now it's making everybody stop, think, and you're just like, okay, what's going on? Is this
Right.
that I'm in? Is it really strong? Can we
Yeah.
really bench press this together, or
Right.
do it without a spotter where the weight come back and crush us?
Yeah.
So we all are just, people are just out here like, man, I mean, marriage, people are getting divorces and filing for divorces during Corona.
Wow.
Because they're realizing how out of shape they really are. And some people haven't, sometimes it takes people to stand still to see how weak you are.
Yeah. That's
You can appear strong while you're moving and in routine and in regimens. And I got church, I got rehearsal, I got to do this, I got to work late, whatever. I'm going to the gym. You know, all these things keep you occupied, but it keeps your focus off of the truth. And so sometimes it takes things to stop to make you realize, to realize just how out of whack things are.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting too that you mentioned the coronavirus and this whole pandemic and the fact that we have to quarantine in our homes now, and so by and large, what's happening is, and I was even saying this to my wife Maria. I was saying how it was that she would be at work and I would be at work and I would come home and she still be at work, and so we might on certain days miss each other. We might not even, we might miss each other. We're texting during the day, but we might actually miss seeing each other. And there was a component of actually missing each other because we didn't spend that time together.
Right.
But now we're in the house.
Yeah.
Literally 24/7, literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You in the house, you quarantine, you ain't going nowhere.
Forced.
Right, not forced. And so now you are literally forced to not, I don't want to say forced, but yeah, you have to deal with this person that you are in a relationship with and really live with them.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of what has happened with those who are getting divorced is they didn't live with their spouse.
Wow.
They didn't live with their spouse.
They were in a spousal agreement.
Yeah.
With them,
yeah.
right?
They occupied the same home, but they didn't live with their spouse.
Wow.
Because to live with your spouse means now I'm seeing you on a day-to-day basis and we're relating to each other on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
We're talking about stuff. And here's the thing though. So if we got some underlying issues in our relationship, if we got some things that we really haven't talked about, we really haven't resolved, I promise you, if it hasn't happened, it will happen. Those things are going to bubble to the surface and you're going to have to confront them.
Yeah.
You're going to have to deal with them. You're going to have to resolve them because now you don't have a job to go to. You at home.
Yeah.
What you going to do? And my thing is, and I just want to encourage everybody, look, take the time out to talk to the one that you married.
Wow.
Take the time out and have some communication with them, even if it's communication that may make you upset. Deal with your issue now. Deal with it now. The reality is, in terms of the world that we're living in right now, life is too short for you to walk around with unresolved issues.
Yeah.
Deal with your loved one today. Resolve that issue today. Okay. That's your physical fitness right there. That's it.
So Adam, okay, let's push the envelope.
Yeah.
Let's flip the side. How does the let's take it from the man's point. Let's speak to the husband, right? The husband, he's the quote unquote head. Let's encourage the husband. The husband is in the home. He's home. This virus thing has everybody quarantined. You're in the house. Mm-hmm. But before the quarantine, there were issues that were prevalent.
Yeah.
We didn't address them because we didn't take the time to live together. We were busy and living our lives. Right. How does that man approach his wife?
Well, he's got to sit down. He's got to talk to her.
Yeah.
He has to have a conversation with her. I think it's also important too that we refamiliarize ourselves with who we're living with, and we refamiliarize ourselves with enjoying the person that we committed ourselves to. Learn them. You have an opportunity now during this quarantine to relearn the wife that you married. Relearn them. Sit down and find out what they do, or better yet, watch them in terms of what they do. You can learn a lot just by watching them. And have an ear to hear what they have to say. Don't be so quick to dismiss their opinion. Don't be so quick to dismiss their thoughts. Have an ear to actually listen and understand what they're saying. Look, you ain't got nowhere to go. Where you going? Come on back in the house for a minute. Let's talk. Let's deal with this, okay? Come on, husband, man. Be a husband for a minute.
Dude, you know
Be
what,
a husband and listen to your wife.
You know what she reminded me of when you were just saying that. I had a deja vu moment of one of my older friends when I used to live back east. This guy used to live out near Gaithersburg that I knew. You know Gaithersburg area, right?
Yeah.
So him and his wife had these issues. Now, this is what I told him. They invited me over for a pre-Thanksgiving dinner once, like a day before. His wife cooked these little dinner, and they had friends come over. Well, when I went there for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours, nobody was there but me and the two of them.
Oh, Jesus.
And so it was like you could cut the air and how it was thick. It was it was like good like this. And so I tried to walk around. Hey, man, this is nice. You know, I'm trying to walk around the house or shake things up. And I remember us kind of finally sitting down, just the three of us on the couch. I think it was like some games or something on. So we sitting there. Now, mind you, I saw him. I'm sitting in the middle. She's sitting over here. He's sitting over there. All I could see is this side of him. I had no idea because you do this too. You know how you and I be talking in the car and you would have that ear thing in your ear. And I didn't know you had it.
Right.
And sometimes you have one on and the other off.
One and out. Right.
I didn't see that he had this ear thing on. So mind you, she was talking, and so I'm watching TV, and at some point she went over me and was talking to him. And so I thought he was watching the TV. So mind you, when I heard her questioning him and him not responding, I did like this. I was gonna say, now you know what's about to happen. Because I could tell her temperament was well enough, but he wasn't responding. And then, you know, because she did like this, she just said, like this, and so she gestured like this, and he looked, and when he looked, that wire came around. She said, "Really?" And she threw it against the wall, left, went upstairs. I said, but she was mad because he tuned her out. So he was ignoring her. He was like, "I'm not listening to nothing you saying." But then he saw her throw the food on the wall and just sat there. I said, "Now, come on."
Lord have mercy.
I had to be the good Samaritan and help clean them before the guests came over. I was like, man,
Jesus, man.
People are crazy, man. And we got this communication thing is hard when you have people who don't want to communicate with the thought of listening first or understanding. If you just want to hurl insults and yell back and forth, you're not going to get nothing accomplished. You just want to argue.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's regrettable, and I've even had some. Oh Lord Jesus!
Back in the office.
I've had some experiences with earbuds in one ear and the other ear open. Oh God! I'm just being honest. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Once you explain, see that's the thing. Okay, we had you have your moment, they're up or whatever like that. Look, let's sit down and let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's be open with this. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have had the ear, but you were talking to me and I was actually paying attention to something else. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me give you, here's the key, my undivided attention. And a lot of times, a lot of us are not giving each other undivided attention. Our attention is so divided, so segmented. It's so separated out that the person that we're talking to thinks they're talking to us, but we're not really hearing what they have to say because our attention is divided.
Yeah.
Again, in this quarantine moment, let's undivide our attention.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's give our full attention to those who are with us in the home with us, who are there with us and talking to us and taking care of us, and we're taking care of them. And it's important that we do that. And
last but not least, let's manage these attitudes and these feelings and these offenses. It's like this is probably in all of my years of living, I haven't seen so many people that are offended and upset and I'm in my feelings. You hear that all the
Yeah.
time. I'm in my
Yeah.
feelings right now. I'm probably not gonna talk to them for 6 months. It's
Wow.
like people are they get so wound up in that.
Yeah.
It's like we have this. We get mad and here comes the force field. I'm mad. Here comes my force field. So now
Right.
you out there, I'm in here. So nothing can get resolved if you are a person that's just always upset, always angry, always internalizing it deep. Like not even to the point where you can say, okay, Adam, I'll let that, I didn't like what you said. We'll talk about another day. Not that. It's just at the moment, but you said what you said, slam, door slam.
Wow.
I'll talk to you for a couple of days. I'm done with you. This is the mentality today. And I'm just like, we got to get to a point where we have constructive disagreements where we can walk away with them amicably. Even if we don't agree, we can choose to not agree amicably. Even if somebody thinks somebody's point is not right, the other one, okay, that's life, right? That's going to happen. But you got to be open with yourself and say, look, if I go into an argument deeming that I'm always right, 9 times out of 10, I am out of touch with reality.
Right.
I'm stuck in the clouds of myself. If I only think every point that's to be made is your fault, it is something wrong with me.
Yeah.
Period. That's
absolutely right. Yeah. And I mean, I understand when it comes to, when you have disagreements, you have conflicts, you have arguments, we get emotional because we're emotional beings. We all have feelings.
Right.
My concern is that we don't allow our feelings and our emotions to run out of control, because then when you get to that point, you begin to say things that you would most definitely regret later. And it's hard to take back what you've already said. Look, if you're feeling out of control, then say, look, I'm feeling out of control. I'm feeling really emotional right now. I need to calm down first and then come back and have a civil conversation after the fact. Go to another room. Collect your thoughts. If you need to write them down, write them down. Hey, you might even need to make a phone call to somebody who can actually bring you down off that ledge and bring you back to your proper senses, so that when you revisit this particular conversation, you can have a conversation that is productive and that can actually solve the issue. It's no good for me to be run by my feelings, to be run by my emotions, and I'm just going off half-cocked, cussing out everybody, kicking the cat, throwing the goldfish out the front door. I mean, what purpose does that serve? Yes, again, we all have emotions, we all have feelings, but don't let these feelings make decisions for you that you will regret later. I promise you. I promise you. Here's the thing, though. Emotions don't last long.
Right.
They don't last long. Feelings don't last long. But decisions, depending on what they are, can last the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So take a moment and breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe for a moment. Let your emotions subside. Come back and have a civil conversation about the issue.
Right. And then let's just take it out on this. Since we're talking about how fit you are to, basically fit for love.
Yeah.
I would say let's strive for the goal, the fitness goal of being the person that can love on top of a misunderstanding.
Yes.
You can get to that point to be a person that can love on top of offense, on top of something that cuts you deep, but you can love on top of it.
Yeah.
You have built up some endurance and some stamina, and you're in a good place to carry out a relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah, that. I mean, that is the epitome of love.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the not to get all bobbly on you, but the Bible says that love cover a multitude of sins.
Yeah.
Which means because I love you as much as I do, I'm willing, watch this, to look beyond your faults, to look beyond your deficiencies, to look beyond your imperfections, to look beyond the things that you've even done to me, and still love you just as much as I did yesterday.
Wow.
That is love.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about a feeling. I'm not talking about butterflies in your stomach. I'm talking about a solid commitment to this person that I decided to spend the rest of my life with.
Yes.
That is love. That I can see you in the morning time with the boogers in your eyes and the morning breath and your hair all standing all over your head, and I still love you.
Yes.
I know, and we can have an argument, we can have a disagreement, a heated one, and I still love you because my love is not is not so weak that it is diminished by the fact that we can't always see eye to eye on things.
Yes.
Not at all. If anything, after we come out of the argument, I get a greater understanding of you, which increases my love for you. But my love doesn't go away just because we don't always agree.
And again, you did try to make us keep preaching. We're going to quit after this. But anyway, one of the other most dysfunctional things that we do in relationships is we will get angry with someone because their love style doesn't look like ours. Catch this, ours, which is even the more dysfunctional. We're angry because your love style doesn't align with my dysfunction. And that's when we got to get out of that. We have to let people love how they love.
Yeah.
To say I can fit and adapt into this, or I can't. Right. Yeah. But we can't just say, now, Adam, that is in my book. That is not what love looked like. Well, your book is really ripped. The pages are ripped. Right. So I don't want to align to that. Right. But we want people to align to broken love, and that's that's good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the reality is that as human beings, we are all idiosyncratic. Meaning we are all unique. We're all different.
Yeah.
I'm not like you. You're not like me. And I'm not like the person down the street. I'm not like my wife. My wife is not like me. We have some similarities, but we are definitely different.
Yeah.
And even though I might love a certain way, doesn't mean that my love is disqualified.
Yeah.
And just because she might love a certain way doesn't mean that her love is disqualified. Yeah. What we need to do is have a conversation and find out, okay, so how do you receive love?
Yeah.
You know, go back to the book, the 5 love languages. We all have a certain language in terms of how we understand love. What we need to do is come to an understanding of how it is that we, each of us, idiosyncratically receive love. And that's the language that I speak. So when I learn my wife's love language, that's the language that I speak to her.
Good stuff. So you got to basically be able to be the ultimate interpreter in your home.
As much as you possibly can.
Learn them.
As much as you possibly can.
It's good. That's them things and learn them. And that's it. That's really, like you said, that's it. And that's all, is learning that language and becoming fluent in it.
Yeah. You know what? Let me just add this one point. I'm not going to say nothing else.
I got this, so keep talking. Go ahead.
Dude, you was late, dude. So let me add this latest point in there. I think it's important, especially now we're in this quarantine situation, that, like I said before, that we watch the ones that we're living with. Okay. And what I mean by that, and I'll even go deeper with that, is that we become, and I've said this before, we become a student of them. We become a student of our spouses. And I've become a student of my wife. I pay attention to what she does and how she says what she says. I pay attention and I study the tone of her voice or the vernacular of her words. I pay attention to her body language, and I pay attention to her little cues and her signals, so that I become an educated person as to how to effectively have a relationship with her. And so at some point in time, and it may or may not ever happen, but I want to be able to graduate with a degree from Maria University. You know what I'm saying? So that I'm an expert in terms of how to love her and how to have a relationship with her. And she's doing the same thing with me. I encourage all of us to do that on today, even as we are in this quarantine moment. Let's take a moment to go back to school with the one that we're in love with. Go back to that school, relearn them again, take some courses in who they are as a person.
Well, first things first, Mr. Ford, to back up on your statement, you have to make sure Maria University is accredited. Because, just I'm just joking. No, real shock. No, for real.
I'm just gonna stick her on you real good. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let her get you without.
Listen, on that same note, in order to become affluent, like you're saying, and graduate, no one wants to study at a bogus university.
That's true.
No one wants to go somewhere and be like, where'd you get your accreditations? Well, they gave me a doctorate online. That's not for real. So you got to make sure where you are studying. and it is worth the education. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing, though. Now, you know, I would want to, if I went to school. Now I know they have online courses you can certainly take, but then there are some courses, or rather, some experiences that you can only have face to face. You know what I'm saying? There are some things that you have to learn. You have to be there in the moment in order to be able to learn them. I can't be distant from you and learn from you. No, I need to be right there with you so that I can learn about you. I need to be in the situation with you so that I can understand how you are in stressful type situations, so I can see you in happy experiences, so I can be there with you in sorrowful moments. It's only when I'm in these moments that I can really begin to understand who you are as a person. And then not only as I understand who you are as a person, I can learn how to meet your needs as a person as well. I can't do that online. I got to be right there in your face.
Yeah. Okay. That's, man. I just want you to know, we don't. Next time, you just put your Cash App up there, because I
really
want the people to be like,
don't test me, because you know I'll do
that's
it.
Right, go Adam Cash App.
You can text it too.
Hey, just so y'all can know, if y'all follow Adam's page on Sunday mornings, I know it's not every consecutive Sunday, right? But
it's every other
Sundays and some whatever.
Every other Sunday. Every other Sunday.
Okay, yeah.
So it won't be this Sunday; it'll be the Sunday after that. But yeah.
All right. So they can tune in and follow Mr. Ford and just hear all the wonderful things that he encourages the people with. Anyway,
you better be glad as a coach. I'm telling you, bro.
He does a good job, y'all. He does a good job. No, but thanks for tuning in tonight, sir. We'll be back at this for sure next week. It's always a pleasure working with you, sir.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure working with you too.
All right, y'all take care. We're gonna give me like 5 minutes to flip this around, and we coming right back to go into the conversation room. Take care, Mr. Ford. Have a good evening, sir.
You too now. Take it easy now. Bye-bye.
All right.
I'm out. Bye. I'm out.
Get out. Bye.